All right, this is Mama D coming in live. If you are under the age of 18, you need to leave the room, pull everything out of your ears because you need to make good choices, okay? This is not your content. Let's do this, boys.
Let's do it.
Let's do brain cells. Let's do brain cells. Let's do brain cells. Let's do brain cells.
All right, welcome to Last Two Brain Cells. This is episode 28 on July 21st, 2024. We are two library lizards living our lives in the library. This is my boy,
Donovan.
And I'm Austin. We have a very special guest today. It's my mom.
I'm the creator of this.
That's right. So today, we're gonna do a little bit of fun stuff at the library, and here's a little sneak peek at what's to come. That's incredible.
I see Alligator pair of
nuts.
Balls.
Huevos.
I see.
Huevos. I'm in Texas. Huevos rancheros. He has the guts to go.
Okay.
Well, you're not the queen.
You're not the queen, though.
Oh, what?
Okay.
I don't like this game already. What the F?
All right. This is very exciting to have our special guest. I grew up with Doris, who I now call Doris because now I'm 30, but I used to call her mommy number 2.
I still just call her mom.
It's super exciting to have you, and we actually had a little hoot and a holler last night. You flew in, we went to Dirty Six, and we got a little dirty.
We had a great time. We started our night off at Esther's, which is a nice place to see some variety magic and comedy, which I was blown away. It's
Amazing.
The most Austin thing you could do as far as a show goes. Highly recommended. And then we hit the streets. We rode the mechanical bull. We punched the punching bag game. We did a lot of stuff.
There was this moment last night. We're walking down 6th Street. We're already a little bit loosey-goosey. We'd been drinking a little bit.
Hydrated.
We're
hydrated. It's hot here.
It's a hot day. And we passed this promoter guy, and he says to me, hey, we'll get her a free drink if you want to come in. And I tell you that, you immediately, 180 degrees, beeline to the door.
Flip
you're
around.
At the bar. And it's just, I like how you roll.
Well, I mean, I'm Irish, but more importantly, I just don't mess around. And the older you get, you just don't care. You get what you get, when you want it, and how you got it, without hurting other people. But I just don't mess around. Let's go.
Absolutely, you
Plus,
don't.
hydration, very important.
Right.
I gotta say, I was very impressed the other night. We went to a great restaurant last night, and you were sampling the wine, and they brought out the sample of the wine to make sure you like it. So you get a small little sampling. You give it a sniff, you give it a swirl.
Can I take this back?
You take it, and then so the waiter took back the glass of wine because you already did the sample, you already approved it. And my mom says, you can't send that back full. And so she grabbed it out of the waiter's hand, downed it, and gave it back to him. And I thought, that's my mom right there.
There are thirsty children in the world. It would be irresponsible to let that go back. I am just doing my duty.
Yeah, you gotta drink that wine so the kids, the kids can't drink that wine, so you should.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't like waste.
Mm-hmm. You're in good company. We hate wasting too. So if there's always a drink on the table, someone's gonna finish
I just
it.
wish I was on the bull longer. You guys crushed that bull. I mean, there was technique, there was strategy.
Yeah.
I made them go first, and I didn't last that long, but I looked good.
We might be able to show the video listeners a little inset of the bull ride potentially. But let me just say, Donovan, you did pretty good.
Decent. I went for style points. I went for the one-hander approach, and I think he saw after a couple bucks that I was doing okay, so he ramped it up, and then he just sent me.
Yeah.
And I have a little injury from that. I have a couple
Really?
bumps and bruises, so
That's the rodeo.
that's the rodeo. That's
You
why you
gotta
signed the
watch out.
disclaimer.
I
Yeah.
went for the look, which wasn't good. You
You looked cool though.
crushed
You had
it.
your hand up. You were really riding the horse like the bull like a real cowgirl. It was really cool.
But
Yeah.
you went the distance, my friend.
I lasted way longer than I thought. I gripped those
So good.
things.
You got good hips.
I put my legs around that bull and I
You're
held
welcome.
on for dear life.
You're welcome for
It
those
was
good hips.
it was a blast. I think I might have a career in bull riding if this podcast doesn't work out.
Well, why not both?
And why not both?
Why
Amen.
don't you podcast on the bull?
Now that's exciting. The world's quickest podcast. Like a 45-second podcast.
Be like this.
Folks, I'm on the bull.
Welcome to the last two.
And then I fall off and break my arm. But it'd be a good content.
Yeah. Can you imagine Last Two Brain Cells brought to you by Marlboro,
Yeah.
brought to you by Wrangler, brought to you by
John Deere.
AR-15.
Yeah, it'd be really a wild time. But hey,
Yeah.
it was a great night. And now we're waking up on a Sunday. Just had some breakfast and we hit the local library because we needed a quiet room. So we're in the reading room at the Ruiz Library in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Shout
And-
out to the Ruiz Library. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, library gods. Thanks for paying taxes so we can be here today. We have an hour to record because this is a superstar fitness professional, and you got to hit the airport pretty soon.
I do. I got to get to that airport in about 45 minutes or so.
before we jump into this episode, I clearly know my mom very well. You clearly know my mom, but the listeners and viewers might not. So if you want to tell the people about yourself, give them a little bio.
Yeah, I'm in the fitness industry, semi-retired, travel the globe on someone else's dime, motivate and fire people up. And then I go out at night and, hit 6th Street and ride bulls and
She's
check out
crazy.
It was fun.
check out crazy comedy, Austin comedy. I didn't quite get most. A lot of it went over my head, but I laughed anyway.
It was fun.
Anyway, it was good. But I think the big thing for me is I just love these two, and I'm physically responsible for this guy, but this guy's in my heart, and I love to listen to them on the treadmill. I was just on a treadmill on a cruise, and my husband always knows when I'm listening to them because I laugh out loud, or I go, I didn't need to hear that. Like 1 or 3 reactions is always happening, and he's, you're listening to the podcast, aren't you?
It's so scary. When I found out you were a podcast listener and actually very much listening, and I knew you were listening because you used the word of the day on a phone call, so that was proof you were actually listening. When we found out you were listening, we were terrified. We were like, oh no, it felt like we got caught.
Yeah.
But we're, like we said, we're 30 now. It's time for the stories to come out, and we're honored that you're listening to our show.
Dude, I always caught you. You just didn't know it. Like I always had the inside scoop in our little small town, and we'll talk about that. But at the end of the day, you guys are absolutely killing it, and I'm learning a lot more about you.
Yes, that's what a delightful way to learn about us.
Yeah, and we're glad to be finally mother approved.
Yes, mother approved. Now we just need to get doctor approved.
Yeah, and dentists.
And dentist
that's
approved.
the hard one. To get that 10th dentist.
9 out of 10 dentists recommend the last 2 Brain Cells podcasts.
Yeah.
The last one's an asshole. He's a Joe Rogan guy.
We're the Colgate of podcasts.
Yeah. So we don't have a long time, but we have a good time. And that good time includes some games we want to play. We wanted to bring some classic Last 2 Brain Cells segments to the field and play them with my mom. My mom is a good guesser. She's good at making up stories. It's where I get all my storytelling skills from. And one of the games we enjoy a lot that uses your creative side of the brain is a game we like to call Urban Dictionary Etymology Time.
Urban Dictionary Etymology Time.
All right, so this one's a classic. We're going to throw a few words at you, and these words come straight from a place called Urban Dictionary, which is sort of the compendium of street slang knowledge.
It's a dictionary for the people, by the people.
And whatever you think it means, just take your best crack at it, and we'll see how close you are.
I'm sure I'm gonna nail it.
You've got it.
100%. So this one, real simple. Alligator pear.
Alligator.
What's an alligator pear?
Alligator pear. Can I say what I think?
You can say what, of course, that's the
It's
goal.
when alligators are hanging out together and they're socializing. It could be on golf course, it could be in Florida, it could be on the side of the roads in Florida. You see all those alligators everywhere. And especially on the highway. And they're like, hey, should we cross the street? I don't know. Should you go? I don't know. There's so many cars coming. And the guy just goes, and they go, dude, that alligator has a pear.
Yeah, that alligator has a pear.
Does that
That's
make
incredible.
I see. Wait, alligator pear of
Nuts.
balls.
Huevos.
I see.
Huevos. I'm in Texas. Huevos rancheros. He has the guts to go across the street. So
Alligator nuts.
So so both the alligators go, he has an alligator pear. And then he's usually very popular and gets a date that night.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's doing well.
Yeah, just saying.
Well, I gotta say, I think that's better than the actual answer by a lot.
Much more imaginative.
Way cooler.
I mean, that seems pretty on point, don't you think?
I think that's really cool.
But let's see what it supposedly is.
Okay, so supposedly the real definition, you were close geographically. This is apparently what's said in New Orleans to mean avocado.
An avocado,
An
like a
avocado
pear.
is an alligator pear.
Okay,
Like the fruit, the pear.
dude. What?
Because it's like a pear, but it's all scraggly and
It's got, like,
looks like an
alligator
alligator
skin.
Dude, I eat avocados all day long, and I would never consider that. But I may now, moving forward. Thank you for giving me that education.
When
I
you go to New Orleans.
yeah. Say I want an alligator pear.
One alligator
Can
pear,
I have
please.
an alligator pear on my salad? Can I have a BL alligator pear sandwich, please?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, what it was avocado toast. I want an alligator pear toast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do I have to change my language?
We can
You
make
do.
that happen.
You do.
Okay, then they'll
Yeah.
think I'm local.
And you also have to say, Nolans.
Yeah, but what about the real story about the guys with the pear that goes across?
I like that. The alligator pear is
Yeah.
way cooler.
I think they actually made it up.
The thing is, alligators are cowards.
They are.
There's a guy we like to watch, a content creator who just hangs out in the Everglades, and he just captures snakes
He
and
grabs them.
hangs out with like
Yeah.
alligators and lizards.
Yeah.
And anytime he's with an alligator, they just run away.
Yeah.
They bolt.
Call them
They're actually fast.
swamp puppies.
Swamp puppies.
Never heard the term
Yeah.
swamp puppies.
Swamp puppy.
Swamp puppies.
Yeah, with an alligator pair.
With a big alligator pair. You want to do the next one?
Yeah,
I got a good word here. Let me pull this one up. Don't look at the screen really
Okay.
quick. Close your eyes. The word is Pitty pizza. You can open your eyes.
Pitty
Pitty pizza.
pizza.
Pitty
So
pizza.
this is something that they serve in the South
Whoa.
during a very specific season
Mm-hmm.
when cherries are actually available.
Wow, okay.
And so it's very specific that they pick these cherries and then they skin them and then they take the pits and they like roast them.
A pitty.
A pit. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, there we go.
They take the pits and they like dry roast them, and it's a big process, like making beer and making wine. And then they become soft and flavorful, full of fiber, omega-3s. In fact, cherries are really good for anti-aging. And so what they do is they take these pits and they put them on these very lovely, like kind of like almost like a French croissant. And then they put this beautiful sauce in it and they serve it to the seniors.
To the
Wow,
seniors.
a pitty pizza.
I see, because
That's
they need
beautiful.
the
For,
fiber.
for longevity and
Yeah.
antioxidants.
Anti-aging.
Yes.
They're
We can
getting
all
old.
use that.
Yeah,
We're all aging.
But it's,
I want a
it's
pitty pizza.
Typically, it's seasonal, and you have to be of age.
That makes sense. You got to be
I see.
old.
Yeah, yeah, just like this podcast.
Yes, just like the podcast. If you're not old enough to eat a pitty pizza, you might not be in the right spot.
Yeah. They do say that we're the pitty pizza for your ears.
They have said that. We've gotten this review.
Well, that was close. What do you think?
Very close. Do you want the real answer? Okay. So the real answer for a pitty pizza is when you're working at a job and they're making you do a whole bunch of overtime, and rather than giving you better pay or more, actual options as far as how to get benefits from working so hard, they'll just order you a pizza. And they say, "All right, everybody, we got an office pizza. Enjoy."
Good
That's,
job.
You know what that's like? That's like a psychological bonus, like attaboy. That
I used to get those
that
at our
does
job.
not fly.
Right.
That does not fly.
They used to do that at our job all the time, where it'd be like, "Well, it's Friday. Sorry, we have to stay extra late today, so we'll just get you a pizza." Everyone's happy, and I'm like, "I want to go home. I don't want a pizza."
Right.
Who decided that pizza was the food that you should get? Because when I hear pizza party, I'm not excited about that meeting or that opportunity. Let me tell you, I love me some pizza.
I know.
But when you call a meeting and it has pizza and salad, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, we're not stoked.
I feel like they're trying to get you excited, but it's just not working.
Just give me a bonus.
Just pay me, please, or let me go home. Okay, we got one more Urban
Last
Dictionary
one, we'll
etymology
crank this
time.
out.
I should have my own dictionary.
Easy. I think you already do.
You do.
I think you say so many things that I have to translate for everybody else already.
In all fairness, I will say a word that's completely different.
Beyond off.
Remember the English patient?
Yeah, it's the King's Speech. My mom will say just a set of words that don't make sense to anyone else, but I'm able to quickly translate it.
He's an interpreter for me.
I can interpret from my mom's personal dictionary to the rest of the general public. And sometimes you're extremely off on what you're supposed to call something, but I think that gave me personally a skill growing up, learning how to call boring things a more exciting, more interesting name.
100%.
So I think it was a benefit. I like your dictionary more than the regular ones.
English is flexible.
It is.
You know, it's if you can be understood, you're speaking.
That's right.
But all right, so we got one more word to get through, and then I would actually love to do a little bonus segment where you act as her translator or her interpreter as she's using these crazy, weird, undefined words.
Perfect.
Wait, hold a second. It could just be how I communicate. So is it crazy or weird?
I'm sorry. You're right.
It's a good point.
That's my fault.
It's a good point.
That's my fault.
It's all perspective.
It's called character.
Yeah, I would love to communicate with you in your own language.
It takes many
Your
years.
native tongue.
Many
Yeah.
years. You're on your way.
Took my whole life
You're
to learn
on
it.
your way.
Okay. But first, our last word is Can-gab.
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 Well, I am in Texas. And when you are in Texas and you're Irish, Irish people are known for telling stories. Did you know that?
That's true.
Okay, so I'm Irish. I can tell a story all day long. It's super easy for me. I've been telling you stories all your life.
True.
Keep you busy, keep you active. I've been telling you stories, which just to keep you in check and be a good boy growing
you.
up. But I would say when you're Irish and you're in Texas and you just have this long conversation, they go, "That girl can gab."
Ooh, that's really
She
good.
can gab.
She can
9
gab.
times out of 10, she's Irish.
She can gab.
Them Irish folks,
That
they
would
can
be
gab.
like a local language.
Okay.
I like that.
That's a good one. I think that's maybe my favorite of your interpretation so far.
Definitely.
Okay.
Do you want to give the real answer?
Yeah, so supposedly what it actually means is a conversation between stalls in a public bathroom.
A can-gab.
When you're on the cab and you're gabbing.
Oh.
Having a nice conversation while you're pooping.
What if you're pooping? Does your language go?
It just might.
Like,
Yeah.
Is there enunciation? Is there fluctuation?
Depends on how you're pooping.
Like,
I think it depends on the artist.
yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it slides on out.
Yeah,
I
like a
know.
slip and
If
slide.
you're having enough
can
Pitty pizzas, you got fiber in your diet.
Yes. Well, antioxidants.
Or if you had an alligator pear toast, then you're probably going to be pooping that thing
Yeah.
out nice.
Right.
We
So-
can have a can-gab in the library later.
So you're
Let's
a
try.
baller. You can speak, and you're young. Mm-hmm.
We should. I want like someone from the library to walk in and be like, "What's going on in here?" And be like, "Hey, you want to jump in our podcast for a minute? This is so funny. We're recording at the
If we see
library.
anyone, I'll flag them down.
It's just hilarious."
I want to know, when was the last time you were in a library?
I think the last time I went to a library, I was actually interning for The Price is Right, and I had to find out the price of rice in 2001. And so I was going back through catalogs and stuff in the Los Angeles Public Library to find out the price of rice.
Wow.
When was the
Yeah,
last time
so I
you were in
could
the
help
library?
set up game.
About 8 months ago.
Oh, really? For what?
Just to see the Austin Library is actually really nice.
That's very cool.
And,
He's
went
a
there,
reader.
Played some games. Yeah, I like books.
So when I was at Chapman, you went to Chapman too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was at Chapman, I had to go to the library
Ugh.
because I was in a sorority and you had to have study hours.
Ugh.
And you would go there and you just screw around anyway. You would never focus. But
You
what
rent
I
out a
used to do
room.
with my best friend, I'd be like, let's go down to the bottom. And when you go down to you go to the elevator, you go down, it's dark. It's like a
Yeah.
thing. And I would go down and I'd push her out and I lock the
That's
elevator.
hilarious.
And
Close the elevator door.
And I leave her down there like, where's Frances? I'm like, she's a flake. She never shows up for study hall. I let her stay down there for hours, and then I'd go, okay, it's time
Wait,
to go.
that's
and I'd
horrible.
get her. I know.
That basement is scary. I had a class down there.
You've been there. It is scary. Yeah,
it is
she was.
scary.
Scary basement.
And she was a musician. Actually, she's an opera singer, and she would sing her ass off, and no one would hear her.
Oh, they're like, there's a ghost down there.
It's haunted.
Yeah.
It is. It's a tortured sorority girl who has to go to study hour.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my friend Frances could tell you stories.
That's so funny. That
Yeah.
like, for some
but
reason,
you know that library, right? You
Yes.
go down and it's dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time I was in the library.
That's so funny. That
No
kind of reminds
way.
me, you just like messing around with people and goofing with people. That reminds me of the wild stuff you used to do at the Haunted Mansion when you were a cast member there.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
for those who don't know, my mom actually worked at Disneyland, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Country Bear Jamboree.
And I rode those rafts when they'd be like, "Oh, it's on a track." I'm like, "Watch me."
The Tom Sawyer River raft.
I used to
rafts.
slam it so effing hard.
So, for context, there's river rafts that go across the river of America from the mainland to the Tom Sawyer's Island or Pirates Island or whatever you want to call it nowadays. But people think those things are on a track, but they're real boats with real motors,
And real
really
rudders.
moving.
Yeah.
And you actually had a crazy encounter on those river rafts that I'd love to hear the story if you could share it.
So
This is
I-
crazy.
So I was one of the very first few women on the water, of course, which was
Big deal.
It's very cool for being a girl, but also it gave me better opportunities to date because there were so many guys in the canoes and on the steamships and everything. But
And they're
anyway,
strong.
and I was
Big,
big-
strong canoe guys.
So I would push, and I would slam the dock on purpose when people were like, "Oh, it's on a track."
It's on a track. It's not even a real boat.
I fell off many times
Into the river.
One time where I got really hurt. It was life threatening.
Oh, wow.
Real.
I was okay. Ready? So you push off the dock and you jump onto the outside, and this guy went around to put his.
He's
arm
doing the
around me,
arm move to put
and
his arm around his girlfriend?
He hit me and he knocked the wind out of me, and I slipped down, and I heard the rudder, and there's no at that time, I'm sure it's fixed, but
Rudder
there's
safety.
no, I forget what, a guard.
Yeah.
So I swam down to the bottom and held onto the track.
The Mark
of
Twain
the
riverboat.
legit river train. Held on as long as I could breathe, and it is murky poo-poo water.
It's the rivers of
Yeah.
America Disneyland
And
water
like-
that you're just swimming in for dear life. Because if you go up, you can get chopped up by the blades and
Right.
you'd be messed up.
And you're
Right.
disoriented because it's dark, and all you could do is steer. So I held on as long as I could, and then I came up and I was able to swim aside, and I was jacked up. I was scraped from head to toe.
Isn't that crazy? My mom fell into the rivers of America, grabbed the track of the steamboat,
Yeah.
and lived to tell the tale.
Gnarly.
And then
Crazy.
and Haunted Mansion is super fun too, because at Haunted Mansion, they had elevators.
The stretching rooms.
So I would go in and I'd do the step into the dead center of the room. I do the whole thing. People would leave, and then as I was going up, I'd scream, "I'm dying! I'm dying!"
From the
There's-
other elevator.
There's 2 elevators, and I'd scream, "I'm dying! I'm dying! Ah! Ah!" And I would scare the crap out of ton of people going up. And I was also a lead, which is a manager. And when I was a manager, the whole day, we had a contest who could scare the crap out of people.
Nice.
So we would lay in those clams and we'd come
The doom
around
buggies.
and I'd grab people's ankles. We'd hide behind the curtains. We'd be in the ride. Yeah, and I used to. And then you walk that ride, and back then pot was illegal. And I remember I would I'd smell it, and I'd put my hand on the clam, and I'd be walking with the person the entire time. And then it would flip around. I'd say, hand it over. I'd wear a glove so I wouldn't get burned. Because what I didn't want is I didn't want him to get arrested. So let me catch you before you get out. Because if you get out smelling that, you're going to get caught.
Nice.
But there are people in that ride at all times. But that was the best place to scare. So when we would switch locations, you would be scared to death because people would just scare them. But that's only when I was a leader. I was like, okay, your goal is to scare the crap out of each other today. Oh yeah, and take care of the guests.
Man, they did. It was different back then.
It's a little wild.
Yeah.
You can get away with a little more.
That's nice.
It's very fun. I love those
And
stories.
then when haunted, can I tell one more?
Yes, please.
Okay, so when Pirates of the Caribbean is in 2 buildings and on 3 floors, and
This
the
is
first
crazy.
time we went to evacuate, they're like, okay, you gotta get the waiters, and I'm
Big
thinking,
boots.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were talking about the Blue Bayou waiters.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm like, hey, I'm from the hey, you need to come over, and they're like, you need to get the waiters
To get into the
no.
water.
I'm like, they're not listening.
The waiters aren't listening.
So that's an example of words. I was like, the dude's serving a sandwich. We gotta push these boats back.
They meant boots.
And then
Yeah.
and then also too, I used to love grad nights because there'd be kids making out and they think no one was watching. We'd watch the whole thing, and they would come.
There's
up and be
cameras
like,
everywhere.
Clap, clap, clap. 7 out of 10. Give them a score. Yeah, I could tell
crazy.
Disney stories forever.
Oh yeah, plenty of wild
Hilarious.
ones. Nuts.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any sorority day stories?
Yes. Okay. We went to the same college. So at Chapman, did they do the Easter egg hunt for you?
No.
Okay, so they had this Easter egg hunt. I was a poor college student, and I was in sororities, they have like the pledges. I was the pledge master. And so I brought my pledges in. 2 things they had to do. Number 1, because I was so close to graduating and I hated morning classes, and I didn't know I had to take this class called Fear, Faith, and Folly. It fell out of the sky. 8 a.m. As a
Boo.
senior, their job was to get me a Diet Coke and walk me to class.
Wow.
Because at Chapman, if you don't attend, you fail, regardless. Like, there's certain attendance things. But that was the first job. The second was when it was the Easter egg contest. So their job was to dress in camouflage the night before and watch where everything was being done. Then they came to me and reported to
Where
me.
all the Easter eggs
and
were.
my roommate, Frances. And we got up, we're like, and we went and we dominated.
Wow.
We got like all the big prizes. Like, could it be here? Oh, look at this. And I dominated. And then
So lucky.
Then I gave like Robin Hood. You get a pie, you get a pie, you go to Sizzler, you go to Islands.
You go to
get
Sizzler?
Sizzler,
Oh.
remember Sizzler? Like, you get all these coupons. And so I gave the prizes to my friends, but I kept the big ones. But yeah, people were like, "God, you dominate." I'm like, I sure did.
I'm just really good at Easter egg
I'm
hunts.
so skilled and lucky, I guess.
It wasn't me. How did you know? I don't know. I didn't know.
We should do this more often.
But yeah,
awesome.
so my pledges had to go in camouflage. I had them all painted out, and they hid out in the bushes and watched everything.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Did you ever take part in? Did you have to haze the pledges?
No, they just, you know what, they had to be under my beck and call, and we would do the alphabet on the football field, but that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And you guys weren't even born yet, so,
We were just
I was
ideas.
tame. I just used them. I empowered them to assist me and my community.
Yeah. I'm glad that you
And
enabled
I
them
and I
to help
graduated.
you.
And you know what? That class, I got a pass, no pass by the hair of my chinny chin chin because I barely made it to class.
You did it though.
Faith,
Yeah.
Fear, and Folly. What does it have to do with communications major? Nothing. And an art minor? Nothing. But I had to do it because it was Chapman, and Chapman's a great school. So no hate, but come on.
Yeah, that's silly. All right, so there's some breaking news in our lives. At this point, this episode's going to come out in a few weeks, so it's probably old news for you guys. But the CrowdStrike bug was just released like yesterday or on Friday morning. And for those maybe who haven't heard of it from somehow, there are a lot of very important companies that are relying on a certain antivirus software provided by a company called CrowdStrike. And CrowdStrike released a quote-unquote content update Friday morning, which is a horrible time to release an update of any kind. That update changed a very core Windows file, a driver file, and corrupted it so that Windows could no longer boot up. It would just crash when it tries to boot up, and it loops on the blue screen of death. And that's an issue because you have to boot up in order to be able to download updates, to be able to revert that bug. And so they couldn't get to that point. So now you have all these machines dead in the water. And the only way to fix them is to manually go to each machine, boot it into safe mode, and delete that file. And then you're able to update and fix the bug. But it's a horrible, time-consuming process. And so you have like airlines, banks, hospitals,
hotels,
a bunch of industries around the world that are just screwed and dead in the water, and they're just really overworked system admins, probably like 2 per company, going from each terminal to terminal, having to fix them one by one. And so it's really screwing up a lot of the economy in the world right now.
It's nuts. This really feels like a point in history where like we're gonna look back on and go, oh my God, the day everything went down, 7/19/2024, everything, all the computers won, the robots fought back. But long story short, what's crazy about this is this very much affected my mom. My mom had to deal with all of the industries that were affected pretty much all in the same day, all at once. So you probably got the deluxe experience to this whole fiasco. I also feel like this fiasco is almost comparable to what they thought was going to happen for Y2K, where all the computers would reset and all the banks would shut down and all of that stuff.
Interesting.
It's fascinating that this felt like what we thought Y2K was going to be, but it was a surprise party.
Right.
But to get to the story, this really affected you because you started flying out the day it happened, and then you had to go to a hotel. So I'd love to hear your side of the story and how this big experience affected you.
So I travel all the time. I'm very fortunate to do fitness and keynote presentations globally. So I travel all the time. So nothing super phases me. But I woke up and I heard the news. And the news is usually so dramatic. I'm whatever. So I'm a pro. I see my first flight. I mean, it's Austin. How long? California to Austin?
Quick, 3 hours.
Yeah, but I'm on United. Shout out United. For 3, you should sponsor these guys. So whatever it takes to get to Houston, and literally it is 25 minutes up and down to Austin. So it should have taken maybe 6 hours. I had about a 16-hour day. And when I first woke up, I thought, well, I'm going to look at the app. And I look at the app and I know the games they play. And it said my plane was there. I was going to be fine. And I was like, all right, I'm going to chill. I'm going to put on my UFO slides, which I'm sponsored by, thank you. And I wore my most casual sweatsuit. And I kept thinking, should I pack extra clothes? Should I have all my stuff for my meeting presentation? Nah, I'll be fine. So right before I get on the plane, United, here's your voucher for your inconvenience. I'm like,
my inconvenience?
There's
Which one?
no inconvenience. And when they give you money, it's because they're saying you're screwed, basically, because they're not giving you money. Because they can always say, oh, it's weather, it's an act of God, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, no. So I'm calling my husband, I'm texting my husband because I'm on the plane, can't call. I say, hey, this is not looking good. I already got this. And then mid-flight, my flight cancels. And thank God, sorry, your flight's canceled. I'm in the middle of the air. There's nothing I can do. So my husband calls this Premier line. It's a fancy pants line. Should take about 5 minutes to get on. Took 2 hours.
And that's on the fancy line.
He had to beg to get me a flight. So they said, no worries. You're just going to have to wait like an hour. That hour turned into about 10 and a half hours. And and I was lucky to get it. And every hour kept changing. And here's the problem. The app would say one thing. A text would say another thing. And when you go to the gate, there's nothing to be said.
The display board is just empty.
No, and then the employees are just trying to do their best. And so many flights were getting canceled because the crew was timing out. So at one point in the airport, the flight got canceled, and they said, we don't have flight attendants. And then they said, oh, by the way, we have 4, they're coming. And as they came up, people were clapping like it was a football game. They're like, whoa! Yeah! They were going crazy. So long story short, I was with this other lady who was flying in from Germany, and she said she landed into Munich, and she's like, we sat on the runway. We didn't know what gate to go to. There were no, everything's electronic.
Wow.
They didn't know what gate where to go. And then along the way, I'm getting things from my bank going, hey, we're at Farmers and Merchant Bank. The banking issues, all these banking issues are going down. And then my husband's saying, hey, I'm working on this insurance thing. Oh, wait, all the medical systems are going down. And so very long story short, my wonderful son picked me up because Ubers were starting at $200. $200.
Wow.
Oh, and why did he pick me up? Because thank you, National Car Rental. Do not sponsor them because you would not wait for me. So I was supposed to pick up my car, and you know what they said? Sorry, we didn't wait. Even though the whole world's, jacked up, we're not going to wait for you. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo to you. So I had to call him, and he picked me up. And when I landed at Austin, like close to 2, You would have thought it was 12 o'clock.
Yeah, the airport was
Packed.
busier than I've ever seen it.
Packed.
Like, it was 2 in the morning, and the line for cars just to pick up people was out the door. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that crowded at 5
Right.
p.m. It was
Right.
really, like, you could tell there was some chaos going down, and every single person waiting to get picked up looked like they were just, they've
Wrecked.
been through hell.
They did.
Everyone was
I
exhausted.
feel so bad for the people involved, but also the service workers who have to just deal with that. The customer service reps.
People were pretty cool. I have to tell you, I was pretty proud of the general public. Normally they horrify me, but they were pretty cool. They understood it, but you get to these points where everybody's just tired. So it doesn't stop there. So I get picked up when we go to and I called the airport like, hey, the hotel, I don't think I'm gonna get in on time. Right? Oh, honey, darling, sugar, sweetheart, whatever she called me. We're doing paper. Like everything's down. Don't worry about it. So I get, hey, I'm just confirming. Well, you're going to get here and you're going to get what you get. And I'm like, actually, no, I'm going to get this room because of this. And I ordered this. And so when we got there, they physically wrote down my name.
Everything's pen and
physically
paper.
Wrote down my card. And they said, we're going to have to walk you to your room. What? Because the keys don't work. They're knocking on the door, hoping someone's not in there. And then they layer in. And by the way, I'm one of many people on a training team. And all of us are flying. And we're all texting each other how we're getting canceled and where
What a
we are
mess,
and where
yeah.
we're going. And then on 3.5 hours sleep, I was able to deliver a 10-hour certification.
And
But-
then we partied.
yeah, and but here's the thing is, it hasn't fixed. So even checking out today, I don't have my receipt. I don't have anything, and I think
They said, we'll check you out when we can. Have a great day.
so. Here's the fun thing about it. Then everyone's like, conspiracy. It's gonna happen. It's a test. Ooh all these crazy stories. So especially. Here, there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of stories of what happened and how it should happen. But I talked to this smarty pants over here, this one, and he kind of explained to me. So I'm just screwed up. And P.S. the company that did all this, I think, is in Austin, and their stock is like.
That's how it goes.
But you know whose
Yeah.
stock should go down? National Rental Car.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
not
Boo.
Boo, CrowdStrike, boo, National Rental
National
Car.
Rental Car.
So
Boo.
it's going to be interesting how long it's going to take for us to get back. The scary part is how dependent we are
Yeah.
on one software, and it almost feels like is it like a monopoly kind of.
Yeah. But that's why. So you had mentioned, I think, that Southwest was one of the only airlines that's still operating because they're on a very old version of Windows that probably doesn't use
1992,
CrowdStrike.
yeah.
Right. And this is why there are a lot of really critical infrastructure level applications that have been updated for decades.
Scary.
A lot of the best software is the oldest software.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why pen and paper never fails, and they had to revert to that at the hotel.
Right.
It was really nuts. Every time you wanted to go to your hotel room, you had to go to the front desk and get someone to walk you up just to let you in with like the master key. It was surreal.
Like the key,
Like a key.
not a card, a key.
It's crazy, yeah, and it just makes you think like how fragile our whole like people say
scary.
that we're 3 missed meals away from civil war, right?
Really?
Yeah. Well, think
Scary.
about it. Hungry people are gonna
yeah.
rebel pretty quickly, but we're one solar flare away from anarchy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If anything brings down technology like this at a global level, we're done.
It's gonna be crazy.
This is just
That's why we're getting strong, just in
Yeah.
case. We need to fight back.
But I think the big thing is too to me it was an opportunity to practice my yoga breath and be calm and know that this is my worst problem. Then life isn't bad, but we are heavily dependent. But the stories were horrific, and the crazy part is global. It's a global impact.
Yeah. And you were saying they were broadcasting at the airport.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is
so it
surreal.
was so bad. So all the food was kind of going too. Like there was not a lot of food because of volume. And they kept saying, ladies and gentlemen, due to excessive volume leaving the airport, please feel free to stay and eat. Yes, eat and enjoy the facilities as traffic is at a critical level, and so please stay in the airport as long as you can. They didn't just say it once. It was going like every 20 minutes
Yeah.
for my whole 10 and a half hours I was there.
Gnarly.
And they not only in English but in Spanish and another language. Yeah, it was very serious. It was insane.
It's so bad you can't even leave the airport if you wanted to.
And they were running out of food. And people, you can tell who's an experienced travel and who isn't. And the people who weren't experienced were flipping out.
Yeah. I can't wait to see all the meltdown videos
I bet there's gonna be some big
that are
ones.
coming out.
Yeah, but I mean, 10 and a half hours, I got $15 voucher from United. And you know what? That got me one bag of almonds. Thanks,
There you
United.
go. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, one bag.
Lucky you.
Wow.
It's like a squirrel. It's like,
All right, so we're gonna have a little fun. We have one segment that we haven't done in a very long time, and that's D&D. with Austin's mom, with Mama D.
Woohoo!
This is it D cubed when it's 3 Ds?
D and D and D.
Yeah, it would be cute.
Dungeons and Dragons and Doris.
That's
D, D, and D.
I love that.
That's pretty
so
cool.
I have to tell you though, Austin's grandma might think this game is from the devil.
Yeah, I was warned about this game growing up, that this game is a satanic ritual.
So I
Really?
I don't know the rules, but he was not allowed to wear shirts that
With
had
dragons on 'em.
dragons.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to wear shirts with dragons on them growing up.
Lizards.
Because they're evil.
Yeah. So this, I feel like, am I dabbling into the dark side?
Ooh, the good news is all the myths you've heard about Dungeons and Dragons are pretty much false. It's just a bunch of nerds playing creative storytelling games in their basement.
Actually,
no satanic rituals
I would
involved.
say most of the D&D people I've met are really smart.
Creative
people.
weirdos.
I don't know what the hell they do, but they just seem really smart, and they're usually like engineers or creators. Okay, so I'm gonna still go to heaven on this.
Yes, you'll still go to heaven after this,
Yeah.
especially if you do great.
Yeah.
So let's play your first ever Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, all right. And so this scenario is going to be super innocent. So we start off in the cult of Lucifer.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding. No, okay. So don't worry about you don't have to repent after this.
Okay, confession. I'm just gonna confess.
You'll be set.
Yeah. All right. So this scenario, there is essentially a king. You're in a kingdom, and it's sort of a fantasy thing.
Could it be
Lord
a
of the
queendom?
Rings. Sure.
I'm a queen in a queendom.
Okay.
Well, you're not the
You're
queen.
not the queen, though.
Oh, what?
Okay.
I don't like this game already. What the F?
All right. Do you guys want to decide your characters, or do you want me to tell you?
You tell us.
Tell me.
Yeah, it'd probably
Okay,
be
okay,
easier.
okay, okay. So you guys are in a thieves guild, and you are a couple of rogues that have always worked together. You can select your names. What's your name?
I'll be Ostina.
Ostina.
D-money.
D-Money. That's cool.
That's really tight.
A chaos player right off the bat.
All right. So one day, the boss of your guild walks in. You guys are having your mead, having a good time, and he says,
Love meat.
"You two,
Yes.
I need you for a secret mission. Are you prepared?"
D-Money,
What do you say?
D-Money's in.
D-Money's in and Ostina is down.
Excellent. You know that you two are my best rogues, right?
Sure are.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this one's really, really important. We get this done, we make a lot of gold coin.
Nice.
All right.
We love that. D-Money loves gold coin.
All you got to do is sneak into the royal coffers, take as much of that gold as you can, and get out of there without being seen. Especially don't be seen representing our guild.
Of course.
You got it? The royal palace guards, they're dangerous, they're very well trained. The palace is guarded, and this is the palace of the queen, Rojogan.
Ooh, we gotta take all their gold.
Done.
We gotta take all that gold.
Yeah.
You say the royal coffers?
The royal coffers.
What is that? I've never heard that term.
That's just the treasury.
Whoa, thanks, boss.
Yeah, thanks for the thank you for translating.
I wasn't sure what a coffers was.
I know.
I'm a robber, I'm a rogue, but I've never taken from a coffer before,
Well,
boss.
you're about to.
Today's the day.
All
I'm
right.
in.
So, how are you guys going to approach this? What do you think? What's the plan?
How far away are we from the coffers? Is it close?
Yeah, well, it's up in the castle. It's up the hill of the castle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna do.
All right. Well, what do you think? I think I'll be your assistant here. D-Money knows how to get the gold.
So I think the best way is to get on a drone
Wow.
that I can jump on, and I teach Pilates, so I have very good inner thigh strength. And by the way, have you ever seen me in a hotel? I steal every amount of shampoo and conditioner available.
She does.
So this is nothing. So I've been training for this all my life.
Makes sense.
Austin is going to be controlling the drone and advising me where to go. So as I'm straddling this drone, he sees a camera and he's like, okay, when you get down there, he's going to tell me how to do it. And I'm going to have an earpiece, and he's going to be watching overhead as I go in. And the fun thing about this is they're not even going to know.
What?
They're not even gonna
Because
know.
this drone has it has supersonic sound.
All right.
And it's going to mimic the craziest, furriest, ugliest bird of that queendom.
Perfect.
What's a drone?
A drone, hello.
All right, so they're not technologically advanced. So
It's still the 1700s or
think
1600s.
like
or-
medieval times.
So why don't you
Like
come?
knights
So why
and-
don't you, okay, say, let me interpret it for mom. She's basically going to
A dragon.
She's
So I think
gonna
what
get
she
on
means is we got to get a dragon. I think what my mom means to say is we got to take it back to medieval times. I think she means drone is another word for dragon.
Oh,
do you think we
dragon.
could rent the guild's dragon and maybe use that?
Yeah, we can see what it's for. Yeah.
Okay, well I think we got to get on that thing. Should we go?
Okay.
We could ride this dragon up there together. Really easy and sneak on in.
Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense. The dragon might be big though. It might be very obvious to be seen. Is this a stealthy dragon we have here, or just a big hunky guy?
Yeah, no, he's pretty tiny. He could fit in windows and stuff, but he is a dragon.
That's true.
So they're gonna see him coming.
Well, they're gonna see us coming. What do you think? What if we hide under like a blanket while we're on his back, so it looks like just a dragon out for like a little fly, and that you can't tell that we're on it?
If that's the strategy, look, you guys are the thieves.
I think we should take our capes and cover ourselves up and get on the back of that dragon.
Do we have access to invisible capes?
Let's roll for that.
That's a good question. We're rolling a d20 here for invisible capes. We get a 18.
Let me check our chests. Oh, look at that. It's
Whoa.
an invisible cape.
Perfect size.
I'm glad you asked.
Here you go, but you have to share one between the two of you.
We can do that. I'm a tiny guy.
Yeah.
All right.
We can spoon.
We got this.
All right.
So you want to go to the dragon, and then we can ride the dragon up to the top of the hill and see if it can fly through a window into the coffer? You said it was small enough.
I think that's our only option.
That's
Because
our
it'll
only
be
choice.
An aerial assault. So I'm gonna roll.
All right, you seem pretty confident, D-Buddy.
15.
All right.
15's pretty good.
You guys wait until dusk. You hop on the dragon. You spoon, sharing the invisible cloak, so
Yeah.
it just looks like a normal dragon.
Normal dragon.
No farting.
Flying
please.
around.
No farts.
And you fly up the hill to the castle, and the dragon's approaching the window. With the 15, you make it to the window,
Perfect.
but there's a guard in the room,
Uh-oh.
and he looks at you as you enter the window. What do you do?
Does he see us, or does he just see the dragon?
He sees the dragon.
Good question. Can I get a perception check on, are they armed? Are they armed up? Are they ready for a fight? I'm gonna roll a 7.
You see the shadowy outline of a guard that looks like he is armored and armed,
Uh-oh.
but you can't tell how much.
That's dangerous.
I just say we go for it.
I'm here to follow D Money.
I'm saying we just very quietly lift that window or enter to that window and take our chances.
Okay.
And we bring our cape. We bring our invisible cape and try to keep it stealthy.
The entire time.
Okay. So you decide to enter through the windowsill. Can you roll to see? Are you gonna try to attack the guard, or are you gonna be
No.
Sneak by him.
You know what?
Stealth.
He sees the dragon already.
But he doesn't see us. So
Yeah.
what if we, like in the same way you get a horse excited by giving it an old like little yeah. We
Yeah.
can get the dragon excited with a little yeah, and
Okay.
the dragon will be distracting and
Yeah.
start causing a little bit of chaos. So
Yeah.
the guard will have to
Sneak
take
by.
care of the dragon while we sneak by.
100%.
There we go. We
Should
can
we
get the
roll that
dragon
dice?
excited.
Yeah. So give it
Yeah,
a roll.
totally. I don't want to kick it though.
No, it's not a kick. We're gonna get like a little, like a,
What about
you know, when you like
a
you
spank?
a little like when you pet a dog so good that they start shaking their leg.
Like that,
We can
yeah.
give him a nice pet on the back that he starts going crazy.
Right.
He loves scritches.
We get a 20.
No
I'm
shot.
telling
That's
you.
D-money.
Yeah, I felt very confident about that.
Okay, so that's a critical success. So, what's that? Is that a dragon coming in? Oh, it's fast and it's making a man. Get out of here! Get out of here! And so you guys hop off the dragon, sneak right
Yeah.
past the guard into the next room, and it's a big long hallway. Meanwhile, you hear in the other room, "Oh, get you stupid dirty dragon!" And finally, dragon gets out, flies away scot-free.
Nice.
Perfect.
So he snuck by the guard. We're clear.
Yep.
How far are we from the coffer?
So you are now in a long, dark hallway.
Ooh.
And so you see at the very end of the room, there is what looks like a steel vault.
Ooh. Can I get a perception check for, is there anything in this hallway I need to be aware of? Do I see anybody or any traps or any booby traps? I look around and I get a 14.
Not bad, not bad.
Really?
So you do get the sense that this place is probably well secured. You don't see or hear anybody, but you assume there must be something.
You've always taught me to check for booby traps, so I think there's something coming up, but I mean, we could use just one of us to see if one of us will set off the trap and the other person can then assist if we get stuck. So if willing, I can go first with the cape and you can hide behind a pillar or a wall or something. And I can see if I set off any traps by the time I get to that front vault door.
Okay.
Should I do so?
Yeah, you approach the door. Very.
I roll a 10.
Maybe I should roll.
Yeah, you might be a better roller.
It's too late. The fate's sealed. So he's approaching the steel door, step by step,
I got
looking
this.
around at his surroundings,
I got this.
and he takes one fateful step, trips a rope wire, and a huge mace comes swinging down from the ceiling and knocks his head off. You watch him die right in front of your eyes. Astina's gone. Do you continue the mission?
Hell yeah, now I'm pissed.
I'm done.
Astina's died for this.
Now it's just you.
Now it's D-money on crack. Let's
All
roll.
right, it's all you, D-money.
What would be crack? Translate that back in the day.
Oh, crack is just like extra mead. You were drinking a lot of mead.
Yeah. Now I'm very hyper-focused.
Okay, great.
A wizard's brew.
Yeah, so now you know what the stakes are.
Yeah.
So do you want to approach the vault?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any technique? Because you did notice there was a trap that came and killed me. How are you going to avoid it?
So I am using my acrobatic skills, and I will cartwheel
Nice.
over the line, and then I will do a round off, jump, split, land, and I will pull the door from the bottom, and therefore I'll be able to peer around and see what's there.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
Your turn to roll. 11. It's better than mine.
Okay.
That's not.
Fortunately, there's no other traps in the hallway. So you do your cool cartwheels. You actually succeed in that. You do your round off. Looks amazing. No one's there to see it. However, you try to tug on the door. It's sealed shut. This is a steel bolt door. With an 11, you're not getting in that easy.
Okay.
What's the move?
I'm gonna have to pick. Is it locked?
There is a lock.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to pick the lock.
Okay.
And you are a rogue, so you should be able to have some skills here.
Yeah. So we'll say you have what's called advantage with lockpicking, which means you roll twice and you take the better outcome.
Okay, I'm feeling good about it.
You're going to lockpick the vault.
Four.
So your next one's the big one.
Well, I was just learning and observing. Now I'm gonna nail it.
Okay.
20. No way. 20.
I am a good learner. I was watching you last night picking that lock.
That's true.
That's crazy. Okay. So
I'm in.
somehow this is the most advanced security in the kingdom. This is Rojogan's palace vault.
Yeah.
You lockpick it almost immediately.
Easy.
Done.
Your needle slides in, you go chick, 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 open. Door slides right open.
Wow.
In front of you, gleaming piles of gold, gems, crowns,
Awesome.
everything you can imagine. What do you do?
Well, before I take as much as I want, and I can, I will do a yoga pose. I'll do a forward fold, go into a high plank, and I'll come down and I'll crawl like an alligator. Because I have alligator Pear. I'm gonna slip and I'm gonna, like an alligator, I'm gonna slide, and I'm gonna push everything in my body, whatever clothing I have, because I'm gonna just put it on my body.
Slip it in.
Okay.
My pants, my shirt, my top, my shoes, my socks, because I wore a specific outfit to do that, long sleeve. I'm gonna look like the Michelin Man of gold, but I'm gonna be
Nice.
very heavy, and it's a good thing that cape's big.
Yeah. Okay. So you still have the cape, so technically you're invisible. You're staying close to the floor, and you're just filling.
Scooping.
So you didn't change your clothes earlier, so you just have the Thieves Guild robes, but you're filling up your robes
Yeah,
with as much gold and treasure as you can.
Right.
Amazing. So now you're really, really heavy. You look like the Michelin Man.
Gotta get out.
That's when I do this secret whistle that I trained the dragon.
Ooh.
That's
to
true.
Come back and get me.
Okay.
And
Can you
there's
roll for that?
I will.
Okay.
Am I rolling that he understands it, or
Yeah.
How it lands.
You're gonna roll how successful that whistle is. Is he gonna hear it? Is he trained for it?
Rolling a d20, we got a 16.
16, not bad.
Not bad.
In fact, you do your secret whistle. It's a very, very high pitch. The guards can't hear this.
Yeah.
You practice for years between you and the dragon
Yeah.
to be able to call him like this.
Right.
The dragon, as you told him to, is hovering around the window next to the vault where you entered. He hears you. Pretty soon you hear a whoosh of wings. Woof, woof, woof. The dragon is now in the room, but the guard is still there.
Uh-oh.
So the dragon has returned, but the guard is now saying, shoot, 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 get out of here, dragon.
he's like a fly, like get away, get away.
Right.
And he's just coming to do that. So I will get on my belly because I'm going to stay low because he'll be looking up at this big dragon. I'm going to get on my belly. It's going to be really hard because I have so much
heavy.
weight on
Really
me
heavy.
with my
Encumbrance.
thing. So I'm going to crawl and
Are
I'm
you
going to...
leaving Astina's body, by the way?
Yeah.
I think that's all you can do.
Okay. Well, yeah, because that's
Okay.
just dead weight. Sorry,
Yeah.
dead
True.
weight. Anyway,
She's right.
And then I'm gonna crawl up the leg of the dragon and slide between his. You know how they have their wings? They have these little. I'm gonna go underneath the wings, kind of like the scapulas, and just sit there. And he's gonna shoo him away, and that's my exit.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice. And so you're trying to remain undetected this whole time.
100%.
You
With
have
your
the cape
invisible.
on you. You're crawling
Yeah.
along.
Yeah, but I'm heavy.
Yeah, and you're going to be clinking. There's a lot of treasure. Clink, clink.
Yeah, but he's gonna be like doing his
The dragon's making
so
noise.
much. He's almost gonna be like an annoying fly.
Yeah. Shoo! I told you to get. Don't make me use my sword. All right.
Let's
You
see
want to
your roll.
roll to see how you
that
do
goes.
Let's see how this
to
happens.
mount this dragon?
It's a 10.
Okay, so you're crawling along the hallway. You get into the room. You see the scene before you. The guard is trying to shoo the dragon away. And dragon sees you. He tries to crawl towards you. You try to crawl towards it. But as you do, clink, 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 a crown falls out of your robe. The guard sees it. He hears it. What's that? Now he knows something's up.
I have secret training, not just in acrobatics, but I can throw something really hard. So I take the crown and I chuck it just so that the pointy parts, both of them, hit him between both eyes.
That's sick.
That's cool.
And he's blinded, and he's so busy grabbing his hands. I am now getting up and running and climbing that dragon.
Okay. Can you roll with advantage for that?
So you get to roll twice.
Okay, so
Your better roll is what you'll get. Your first roll is an 8.
Eight.
Not
Okay,
great. So your second roll is
Oh,
a 9.
maybe I only hit him in the head. I don't know. what
We'll
happened.
see.
yeah. So with the 9, that's not even gonna hit him in the head. So you do hit him. Chest or mask doesn't really do any damage. But now he sees you. He's seen
Yeah.
that you picked up the crown thrown at him, and he draws his sword. He goes, "There's an intruder!" And he starts to approach you with the sword.
I am going to go back to my whistling skills,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell that dragon to blow fire and extinguish him and burn him up. And
Extinguish
then-
him.
Okay, that's what. Yeah.
Roll it up. I love that idea. 16.
Dragon goes,
Yeah.
burns the guard to a crisp.
Perfect.
And he does hit you a little bit too, so you take a couple damage, but that's okay.
Sorry to have the cold.
You're intact. Yeah, so now it's you and the dragon, you hop on, you fly away. All right. Yeah.
Back to the guild.
Yeah, so you make it all the way
And I
back to the guild.
and I have little like war scars to tell my story.
Yep.
And then moving forward, people will say, "Oh, that's the one.
That's D-Money.
That's her D money." Because look
D-Money.
at it's like the war scar. Like it will be my badge of honor.
Yeah, so you show up back at the guild. Now it's 1 a.m. Everyone's waiting anxiously to see the results of the mission.
Kind of like the Austin airport. Go ahead.
Exactly, yeah. They're saying, please don't leave the guild today.
Please enjoy the food.
And you were covered in Austina's blood. You crawled right through the pool of blood as you went back to the hallway.
Yeah.
You're singed from the dragon, and you show up in the doorway. You go like this, open your vest. All the gold falls out. Everyone sees, stunned for a moment, and then roarous applause.
Hooray!
You're now a hero within the guild.
I'm used to that. Yeah.
Success. Congratulations.
Yay! D-Money
I did it.
wins.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay.
You win.
It's the first time I've ever played that.
You played. And what'd you think? I'd love to hear your initial thoughts on Dungeons
So
and
it's
Dragons.
hard for me not to. So I think it's actually cute and it's very imaginative. So those people are crazy.
Yeah.
The devil part. It's just hard not to bring in current technology. You
Some-
know
well,
what I
some-
mean? Which makes your brain think creatively.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm gonna have a drone. I'm gonna.
And I have a missile launcher, and you're like, well, no, you don't get all those things.
No, I thought it was really fun, and I really like the way you interpret it. It's really cute. So when you guys get together, do you like? Because I know like there's little figures and something like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can use those figures to be like, I'm in this part of the room, and this guy's in this part of the room. So
So
it's
cute.
really a visualization tool.
it's just like grown-up Barbies.
Yes, it's grown-up Barbies. It is grown-up Barbies with some dice to decide your fate. So that way the storyteller gets to keep the story rolling, and it's kind of has that element of chance.
Yeah, you did a good job. That takes a skill set. I think the hard part is being creative in it and thinking old school.
Yeah. I mean, it gets easier over time as you understand the constraints of the world that you're in. But every campaign, every setting is different.
Yeah.
So
You could do it
D&D
modern.
in modern time. You could do it in the future. You could do. Usually, it's a fantasy past, like
Yeah.
medieval times. But yeah, that's the
Well,
gist.
thank you.
That's Dungeons and
Thank
Dragons.
you, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
And I did not get struck by lightning.
Nope,
So I'm good.
and you still get to go to heaven.
Yeah.
I know.
Look at that, so fun.
Yeah. Sorry, Grandma.
Yeah, she's not listening.
All right. So I think we have time for maybe one little wrap
One
up.
final
and
wrap up, and
then we should get out.
all right. Well, hey, let me just say, I wish we could have more time, but our room time in this library is expiring, and we got to get my mom to the airport so she can hopefully. And I think if you roll a d20, you're gonna make it back really quick and easy. We got to get to the airport so you can get back home. last but not least, we want to say thank you for being on our podcast. Thank you for supporting all the weird creative stuff we've done since we were actually children. And we're 30 now, and you're still supporting us. Not only just listening and being a part of it, but showing up and being here. So we love you a lot, and thank you for coming through. Is there anything you want to say to the people, or where they can find you, or any of those types of things?
Here's what's fun about this is I've learned more about both of you as an adults. As I'm listening, I'm horrified and I'm fascinated.
I'm
I
so
have
sorry.
understandings.
I'm sorry.
And I
Yeah.
really thought I had it down as your mom, because in a small town, one day this girl broke up with Austin, and before he got home, the principal called me, the youth pastor called me, and the lady in carpool called me. So when he would show up, I'd be like, "So hey,
What happened?
What's going on today? Do you want to talk?"
And
he's
I'm like, "What do you mean?"
And let's bring you in. So I remember coming home and getting a call from someone's mom saying, "Do you know that Donnie and Austin are on beach chairs on top of your roof while you've been gone?" And not only she told me, she took a picture for proof.
What a
Really
darn.
So
cool.
as I turned the corner, there you were. So in a small town, they really didn't get away with much, but clearly they did. And so it's really fun to listen. I think you guys are both so talented, and you're doing this for the right reasons. You're fun, you're creative. This is truly you. The games, the knowledge. You guys are wicked smart, super creative. You got good hearts, and yeah, it's been really fun. I mean, I could tell millions and millions of stories about these guys, but these guys are amazing. So please do yourself a favor and listen. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, sponsor these guys. They're hilarious. And then guess what? I think if you get sponsorships, we need to start about doing a world tour.
Get our world tour going.
Yeah, and let's get it going. But I hope this continues, because this is fun. It's a little juicy. I'm not sure if Bob wants to really listen to this, but he will, and he'll love it. You guys are awesome. So you guys, please support this cast. You know that kindness is needed in this world, and it's just an honor to know you guys as men.
It's an honor to have you. And maybe those extra stories in the future, maybe we could have you come on in the future again. If we keep this podcast rolling, we'll have plenty of time to talk about more stuff.
Because I think there's chapters in life, and you got kind of my crazy chapters. I'm still crazy, but it's just at an older level.
Wise and crazy.
Yes.
It's also been our equal pleasure to have you on and to just hang out again. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me the last night, and that was a blast, and being on the pod, another blast. So yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. And hey, really quick, if you do want to keep this show on the road, the best way to keep that going is patreon.com/L2BC. Tell a friend, tell your mom, tell a dog, tell someone on the street, tell your waiter, tell somebody, who cares. Give us 5 stars on any platform that gives 5 stars. Leave a comment if you're on YouTube, yada, yada, yada. Feed the algorithm monster. This has been coming to you live from the Ruiz Library in Austin, Texas reading room. We really got the whole library to ourselves today, and thank you, library. We appreciate it.
Library.
And I'm doing something nice this time versus pushing my friend in the dungeon.
Yes.
Library and laughing.
We've had a wonderful, wonderful experience at the library today, and we've had a wonderful time with our guest, my mom. So thank you for listening to the last 2 Brain Cells. We hope you have a nice little week, and we'll see you again soon.
Mwah.
Mwah.